So we're going to be making a laser bowl rocket fin in TinkerCad. Once you got your account set up, just click Create New Design. It's going to bring you to your workspace. So just like when starting any project, go ahead and name it what your project is. So this is a rocket fin, so I'm going to go ahead and type rocket fin, and then as well make sure it's identifiable as yours. I'm going to go ahead and add my name. Alright, so now it'll be clear if it ever ends up in a folder with anybody else's whose it is. So to control your workspace, we're going to go ahead and click with the scrolly wheel that allows you to pan around. If you want to orbit, you click with your right click, and then if you ever lose your workspace, you can click the home button over on the left and it will bring you back. So to get started, we're going to go ahead and go over here to basic shapes, and then down to shape generators. Then we're going to search. So there's a specific shape I want that's a square. So we're going to look up square. And then this kind of tealish colored square, we're going to bring that into our model. So the reason I want to use this square is it's very customizable. So if you look over here on the right, you can control all of these nodes to change the shape of your square, but we'll worry about that in a second. Right now I want to change the height to be about 1/8 inch because that's the size of our acrylic that we'll be using in the laser. So let's go ahead and convert 1/8 inch to millimeters because our document is in millimeters. So our final one, it needs to be in 3.15 millimeters thick. So let's go ahead and go back over and we'll change that height constraint by double clicking. And then let's change it to 3.175 and then hit enter. So that's the correct thickness now. Now for the length and width, I don't want it to be any more than 4 inches, and each inch is about 25 millimeters. So let's multiply that times 4 to be 100. So I'll go ahead and put 100 millimeters right here. And then to switch constraints, you can click tab on your keyboard. So I'm now in the other constraint. I'm going to put in 100. So now my length is 100 and my width is 100. So I now know that this is no more than 4 inches. So now to change our shape, you can click on these nodes over here on the right, and you can see that directly translating in your 3D model. So I'm going to adjust these. Unfortunately, you can't adjust that one because it's kind of in a bad place. So you can make your fin shape whatever you want. So you can customize it. If you have an idea in your head that you think is going to work well, you can make it just straight up a triangle. You could research and see if there's any good shapes that you already can find pre-made on the internet. I have this one fin that I want to try that's kind of almost a parallelogram, but it's just barely not. So I'm going to adjust all these nodes and then let's take a look at it from the top. That's basically what I want. I think I might want this right side to be a little bit longer. Alright, that looks good. So let's go ahead and export this in a file format that will be usable by the laser. So I'm going to click export, and down at the bottom it says .svg. That's going to be a laserable file that saves it as a vector format. So I'm going to click SVG, and then down at the bottom you can see my file. So I'm going to click this little arrow here and then show in folder. That's going to pull it up in the actual documents on my computer. So I want to put that in the Google Drive so that way I can laser it later. So depending on what grade you're in, you can select one of these folders. I'm going to pretend I'm in 5th or 6th grade, and then click New, File Upload, and then let's go ahead and go to our Downloads folder, select the rocket fin, open, and there we go. Now any of the teachers can access that file and help you laser it.